Hey, what's up, folks? It's your favorite sorcerer, Aurelius Sopax. Today, on the 23rd of November, 2023, I'm creating this video attempting to hopefully help you understand the more abstract parts of this craft a little bit better, right? So, what exactly am I talking about here? I'm talking about spiritual laws. And I'm talking about spiritual laws that are just as real as physical laws, and that means you ignore them at your own risk, really, right? So, an example that is often used is gravity. If you jump out of the window, you are messing with the law of gravity, and you will not be, most likely, you will not be able to not experience the consequences of ignoring that law. All right. Now, spiritual laws are just as real as gravity, but they don't apply to the physical world. They apply to the spiritual world, which has then consequences for the physical. But they're essentially rules that are affecting the dynamics in the worlds of energy. And as magicians, we are dealing with the other realm. We're not necessarily concerned with the physical. We affect the physical, we change the physical, but we do that as a byproduct of what we did in the spiritual, you see? So in this video, I want to cover a couple of very, very important spiritual laws. I'm not saying this video is going to be comprehensive, meaning there will be more spiritual laws, but I'm not going to cover all of them, all right? So the first one is the law of karma. All right, which is also cause and effect. Okay, so what does that mean? And by the way, what you're going to notice is that some of these spiritual laws, such as the next one that I'm going to cover, the law of attraction and this law of karma, are intertwined and they work together. All right, so let's talk about karma first. What is karma? Karma is cause and effect. Yeah, every action has an opposite and equal reaction, right? And the same applies to your thoughts, deeds, actions. All of these things are like planting seeds. I always like to use the example of a feedback loop, right? So when we look at the feedback loop, we gave it a curve, or rather your memory of an action. It would be a curve that looks like this, right? So very steep decline. Now, what does that mean? Try to remember what you had for dinner yesterday. Easy, right? Now, what did you have for dinner on November 4th, 2006? You have no idea, most likely. Why? Why is that? Because your memory of events that happened a short time ago is very vivid and very strong, right? But very, very fast, the memory declines. But the problem is that the world responds to seeds that you plant. It's a feedback loop, a constant feedback loop. And the problem is that you are reaping feedback of actions that you have planted in the past, but most likely you don't remember them. And that is the human experience. It's annoying and it is frustrating to experience things constantly and not knowing where the root cause of those is, right? Now, on the other hand, you have another curve, which represents your actions, the seeds that you plant, all right? And that curve would look something like this. Hockey stick, exponential curve. Now, what does that mean? Many seeds planted in the same direction at one point have an accumulative effect and give you an exponential feedback loop. I always like to use the example of the smoker that smokes 20 cigarettes per day for 20 years. And then the consequences, cancer hit him at once, boom. And he doesn't even know, man, I don't even smoke that much. No, yeah, but you did it for a long time. And the same with businesses, for instance. You have to plant seeds many, sometimes years. And then, boom, at once. This is how success looks. Goes like this incremental gains, and then boom, like a hockey stick. And everything else, all overnight successes look like this. This is years and years and years of work with almost nothing in return. And then at once, boom, a hockey stick. This is how all success works, including in your magic. You will, if you want to have develop real psychic and magical powers, you're going to have to work on it every day, every day, every day, every day. And what you're doing is you're planting seeds. Every single meditation is planting a seed in the direction of developing occult powers, and that will just continue. And boom, at one point, it's gonna move towards the sky. You see. So when we talk about karma, it's not necessarily a moral or ethical statement. It's simply cause and effect. Now, I like to think in terms of karma, or karma in terms of pleasant and unpleasant, because cancer is unpleasant, right? But what could be pleasant is putting out lots of knowledge on a consistent basis, knowledge, and then boom, the universe. And by the way, the feedback doesn't necessarily come from the source that you were planting the seeds in. You see, it will come from the universe, from somewhere else. So you're planting seeds in which you help people, you help people grow, and then all of a sudden, the feedback loop hits you, and boom, you receive a massive new initiation where you're taken to a whole new different level of power and wisdom. This is part of why I'm doing the Grail of the Serpent. I'm helping those that are not as advanced as I am, but in return, I receive blessings from the gods like you have no idea. And this is going to continue. So this is what karma is. So you got to decide, what are your thoughts, words, and actions? Thoughts, words, deeds, and actions. Deeds and actions are probably the same thing, right? But when you align those in the direction of what it is that you want, you are starting to plant the seeds. Now, you have no choice but to right now experience the feedback loops that you planted in the past. You cannot escape that. And some of this is even from different lifetimes. Some of it is your family karma that exists as well. Family lineages have karma, obviously, right? But what you can do is you can now decide to create new karma for yourself into new directions. Okay? And that leads me to the next law, which is the law of attraction. I'm sure you heard about it many, many times. The law of attraction. Now, what does that mean? It means that like attracts like. Your, let's say, high frequency words, high frequency thoughts, high frequency emotions will tend to attract the same thing. Now, if you're in a completely wrong environment for that, if you're in a low frequency and low energy environment and you're expecting that your high energy and high frequency words and actions are going to generate a positive response, that's not how it works. Why? Because you need to find things that resonate with what you're doing, you see. But as you do that, when you find something that resonates with the frequency that you're putting out, you're using the law of attraction, right? This is also why you should never speak. I mean, you can speak negatively, obviously, but I'm talking about understanding the power of your words. Words are energy. They're packages of energy, right? And remember, you're planting seeds. Your actions, your thoughts, your words are all planting seeds. So throughout the day, make a list of the things that you do throughout the day. Where would you categorize those things? Are those high quality activities, low quality activities? Are those things that are moving you towards who it is that you want to become? Because that is, you are essentially attracting the future you, with your words, thoughts, emotions, and actions. You are getting closer and closer to that future self that you want to create and become. So are you doing that? So we're going to talk about the law of correspondence in a little bit, but we're going to talk about the law of, we're going to talk about other laws. So I want you to start thinking in those terms. You have a certain amount of energy every day. You're like a battery. And your words, your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, they're particles of energy. And you have a choice with everything that you do, how you spend your time, to plant seeds in the right direction. And the feedback loop is going to come back to you, and you're going to start attracting it, right? The law of attraction. This is how life works. This is the key, my friend. Be conscious about what you do. This is what consciousness and conscious living means, really. Understanding that everything that you do and has a consequence. And I think it was Ray Dalio who talked about first layer effects or feedback loops and second layer feedback loops. Was it layer? Something like that. Second order, first order feedback loops, second order feedback loops, which means or consequences, by the way. Pardon me. He was talking about first order consequences and second order consequences. So first order consequences means the initial effect from your action, and the second order consequence is the longer term or long-term effect. And anything that is a pleasant first order effect usually causes detrimental second order effects. And second order effects are way worse because they're hard to root out, they have long-term effects, and they're often brutal, right? So think about it. What is, and usually they're completely the opposite. Let me give you an example. Exercise. You have a choice every morning. Do I get up and work out? First order consequences, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to fucking sit here. I'm going to be a lazy piece of shit, and I'm going to eat donuts. Boom. That's the first. It feels good in the moment, right? But as you do that, the second order consequences, you mess up your whole day because your thinking is going to suck. Your feeling is going to suck. And everything else, you're going to lose a whole entire fucking day for just because you were lazy. Second order consequence is, like I said, very negative. And long term, you're going to be fat and nasty and just unhealthy, which is going to have consequences across the board, right? Now, the other choice is, no, I take the negative route, meaning I choose suffering. I choose pain for a short amount of time. And afterwards, I'm going to have more energy because that's what exercise actually does. You know, it doesn't take energy from you. If you exercise early in the day, you're going to find that you have more energy. Why? Because you now become an open system that is able to take energy from the environment and exchange energy with it. You see? So it's not just, it's not that you just have a certain set of energy and you can spend it throughout the day. No. You can absorb energy, and you do that naturally. You can absorb energy from the environment, but for that, you have to open the system. That happens through exercise and other things, right? So it's uncomfortable, first order, but the second order is you are way more productive. You think clearer. You have better emotions, and you're planting those seeds. Remember, your thoughts, words, and actions are seeds that you're planting. And long term, you're going to be sexy as fuck and healthy. Isn't that what you want?